don't remember when it started exactly, but the dream of having a fantastic adventure in far-off places grabbed my heart early and is yet to let go. You see, my hero is TheBobbKat for helping me make this wonderful map. Hey guys, we got TheBobbKat here, and today I am going to show you a map that I made in Minecraft based off of a village in one of my favorite games in the world, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. So, I figured it was only iconic to start up at Dine's Monument, but for the tour we're going to start right here, which is the entrance to Burg. So if you don't know what Burg is the first village that you started in the PlayStation 1 game, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. It is a very strong memory in both my heart and in my sister's heart. And I also want to thank my sister for helping me with some help on making this map and trying to figure out certain things and second opinion, because if there's anybody that knows Lunar more than me, it's my sister. So, the original map of Burg looks like this. So, that's what it originally looks like, and it's an overhead view, as you can see. And getting the scaling just right for this was difficult to transfer into 3D, and I had a little bit of difficulty with it, but then I eventually got used to it and planned it out and made it look just like that over there. And we'll get to the other areas in a minute, but first we're going to take a look at the actual village of Burg. Now, first of all, this bridge is not a part of Burg at all. This bridge right here was not a part of wasn't a part of the village. It was outside of the boundaries that you could see. So anything that was outside the boundaries that I felt needed to be there, I added there. So I added a bridge here, and the boundary of the actual map starts right here. So, village. Yeah, one thing I gotta point out is, yeah, the houses look very thick. There is no interior. All I've done is I've just added a bit of black wool so that you can't see on the inside, and maybe at a later time I'm going to do the insides of each individual house on a separate map for the scale of inside the house, because when you enter a house in Lunar, it scales differently. Like, it looks a lot bigger on the inside than the outside. And a lot of the old video games were like that, Lunar being one of them. So here we go. This is just one of the houses right here. There's a river at the very bottom of the village, or it looks like a river. It could just be a large body of water. So yeah, that's what that is, and there's a cow over there just because I'm in creative mode. So these are peonies, I think that's how you pronounce it. Peonies, these were added in one of the more recent patches. This is Marius' house. This is, I believe, the mayor of Burg's house. I had to outline it in green wool because there's no such thing as green doors, and Marius' house has a green door. So this was as close as I could get it. Now what else have we got around here? Let's see. This is the item shop, which is logoed with a vase in-game. So I figured, well, item portrait with a pot in it would be close enough, so that's what I did. And, yeah. This is another one of the house, and the weapon shop over here, of course, the bow. And, whoa, what is this lump of gold in the middle? This is supposed to be the Athena statue, and it's supposed to look like this. But, of course, being Minecraft and very blocky, this was the closest that I could get to it. But you can see that's sort of the crescent of the moon that the goddess holds. And, yeah, it's really rough to try to scale it just like this in Minecraft. I mean, I suppose I could have scaled it up bigger to make things more detailed, but I chose not to do it. I wanted to keep it proportionate to the character. So yeah, those are all the main houses, I believe. So the next place that we'll get over there in a minute. That's Alex's house and hut over there. We're gonna go there last. So, one of the first missions that you're given in the game isn't really a mission, it's just a task, and that's to go meet up with your girlfriend named Luna. And so this is the water mill that's on that side of the river. So this leads into the spring, and this is where you first meet Luna. So I added a bunch of trees here because it's very lush on the trees, and I also was sure to add in the grass and the flowers I don't know if there's any flowers in the spring. And then we get to the actual spring, which has a bunch of fallen columns and ruins and all that. And then there's a little walkway that you're supposed to be able to traverse across in order to get to where Luna is sitting, right here. And when you first find her, she is singing. We've got the fountain, which is supposed to be the dragon head, and the fountain that's pouring out the water, so that's as close as I could get to that side. And there's supposed to be another house on the other side that's entangled in a tree. So that's what I did over here. And then there's a bunch of columns sticking out of the water, covering a bit of moss, fallen stuff, fallen log over here. So the edge of the map is right here, and this is all me, which I will show you later. But first we're just going to get to the main stuff that you're familiar with in the game, and then I'll show you everything else. So I may have added a little bit too much lily pads. Oh, border being right here as well. This was all added by me too. The lily pads, it was funny because my sister was sort of coaching me through this section in particular because she's really good at remembering this area, so she really helped me out with this area. And it was funny because I put way too many lily pads, but I was sort of trying to match where they were when I looked at the map in the game. And as you can see over here, there does seem to be quite a bit of lily pads and water lilies, but when I put them all down on the map, there just seemed like there was too many, so I had to cut a lot of them out in order to make it look a little bit better. So yeah, that's what happened there. Let's see. Well, I guess the next place I gotta show you guys next is where the whole game starts, which you saw very briefly at the beginning of this video. So, and I'm walking on feet now, just to get the anticipation up and just so that you can see what it looks like from ground level. And while we, yeah, okay. First of all, this was hard. Doing a bridge on an angle, on a slope, was not an easy task. So I did it as close as I could. I mean, the bridge clearly, as you can see over here, is just, it's on an angle. It's slanted up, and it was only a couple of blocks of space where the river was, so it was very difficult to figure out. I eventually found a way that worked, and this was the closest. So this is the barn, and inside the barn there's supposed to be a cow. There was no cow. This is Alex's house, and basically is separated from the others, but I like that, it's cool. And there's supposed to be an old man walking around over here just by these forest trees, but he's not here right now because I haven't gotten villagers in here yet. I might chop down trees, and then the map is supposed to cut right here, and then you're supposed to be taken right up to the monument, Dine's monument. I couldn't do that. So what I had to do with this was I had to figure out, well, it can't just go straight up to the monument right away, and then you see this overview of all these lush mountains, and there's this great view, as you can see in the picture over here. This is what Dine's monument looks like. We're gonna get to it in Minecraft in a minute, but that's what it looks like. And as you can see, it overlooks the mountain range and the forests, and you can see the blue star from a distance, and it looked really beautiful. But I was trying to figure out, how can I get up to that distance as soon as like right after the border? So I knew I couldn't do that, so I had to improvise a little bit and make something of my own. So this is the first of the things that I made on my own, and this is sort of a trail that leads all the way up to the monument. The snow is pretty much based around this platform over here, just above where the trees are, at that corner of the map, so I knew I had to interpret a little bit of the snow up here, but at the top it's clean, as you will see. The stairs are sort of a guide so that you know you can go up there on a little mountain pass. It's kind of cool, actually. My sister was actually really liked how it worked together. So yeah, let's go up and take a look at Dine's monument, shall we? Where the whole adventure begins. And right about here, is it right here? It's about right here-ish is where the map of the area actually begins. So it goes straight from the stairs, which is at the bottom of this cliff, and then you go up them, and then the screen fades out, and then you change maps, and you get taken to right about here. But that didn't, like I said, it didn't transition well to 3D, so I had to make that whole cliff and all that. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the very first screen of the game, Dine's Monument. In honor of the great Dragon Master Dine. I know that Dine was probably the greatest of the 4 heroes, Alex, but I'm amazed that you never get tired of coming to stare at this dull monument. No. Probably the most annoying character in the game, I will say that, but that's another story, so yeah. So, this is the tree that's supposed to overhang. This was actually very hard for me to figure out. It overhangs the cliff at the very edge. It's made of jungle wood. This is jungle wood. And I think I used oak leaves for the top and ovaled it, because it does look oval. As you can see in the picture over here, it is oval, so that's what I was trying to go for. And, you know, the grass was just an add-in. I just want to sort of bring a little bit of life into it and try to make it look less bland. And I think I covered everything. We looked at the village, we looked at the spring, which we can actually see overhead from here, and we got the whole world of Lunar ahead of us. So, now that I've showed you all of what Burg was, now I'm going to show you other things that I've done. So, aside from the cliff, which was me, I made the cliff. That was my idea. I figured that would be most understandable to do a little bit of a mountain trail up. So, basically what I did here is I literally just took one beam of dirt and just followed it, just one beam, and I made like a snake in the sky until it weaved all the way up to the monument, and then I broadened out the trail here, which is the top platforms here, and then I extended the edges downward so that it looked like a cliff face, and then I added a little bit more. It was actually quite fun to do. I actually thought it was going to be a pain in the ass, but it was actually quite fun to do, and it actually turned out really well. The stone kind of looks a little weird on the top, but that's what it is in the game, except it is colored differently, so a little nice overhanging cliff there. So, yeah, that was fun to do. And up until this point, I had taken a PNG of the actual map of Burg and gridded it so that I could sort of bring the exact scale from the picture that was now gridded and transfer it directly to Minecraft. So I did that to the village and the spring, but when it came to time to do the monument, I just eyeballed it. The grid wasn't worth it at that point, and of course because doing the grid here would be directly overhead. In the map, it's not directly overhead. It's slightly more to, I'd say about this angle-ish, but I did it anyway. So, as a result, the houses looked skinny, which I didn't want to happen, but, you know, the houses appear smaller on the outside in the game, so I stuck with it. That's where it was. Borders, yeah, this right here, the border kind of cuts off right about here, so this was all me. And then the trees, I made sure that there was a lot of dense trees around where the spring was. Now about the river, okay, so I wanted to make sure that all the bodies of water in Burg were connected somehow. So I added this pool here, and then I let it down a river here, and then there's a little bit of a slope on the water here because the water in the rest of Burg is actually lower. So then there's a river that goes all the way down here through the trees. Was that an Enderman? Oh, fell in the water. That was just a flower. That scared me, actually. The mobs are turned off, too, so that kind of freaked me out. But it looked like there was somebody standing underneath the tree. So then it comes around here, and then it connects to where the watermill was. So that's good. And then the river comes all the way down here, goes outside the border. At least I think that's what I decided to do. And so I connected it to the lower body of water, and then I made this big lake, because on the lower corner of the map, as you can see here again, it seems to be getting a little bit wider, so I was like, well, maybe there's a big lake there, or a pond or something, so I put that in. It's all the same depth. Like I don't know if you can see that, but it's all 2 blocks deep. Like it's not like it's concave like in a real lake is in Minecraft. I just stuck it with that. This game is probably very flat in terms of landscaping, so that's what I did. But that wasn't the original plan. The original plan, I had to base it on the sprite of the villages that appeared on the world map, which looks like this in-game, and it looked to me like this river here actually went up into this little set of trees here, and that this body of water was standalone. But I didn't like how that looked. So after consulting with my sister Jenny, who's sitting, she usually sits right over there in that recliner, I was talking to her about it, and I said, well, I would rather have the rivers connected together, and she said, yeah, that would make more sense, and then there could be a bridge there. So I added the bridge, and yeah, it actually turned out really nice. And it's nice to have a little bit of originality to it, of my own design. Try to imagine what it's like outside those borders, and trying to figure all that out was another fun part that I had. So these trees I think I did today. Yeah. And then I brought them out, the trees slowly dissipate, and the plains are going to be just outstretched to the mountains to the north, mountains to the south, big forest to the west, which I'll talk about later. This right here was what I spent pretty much all day today doing. It's a bunch of hills, because I wanted to try to get the hills pushed into the cliff, which still looks a little weird and very overhanging, but we felt like there should have been some sort of hills here, so I knew I wanted to put trees here. I will say that I knew I wanted to put trees here, but I didn't know about the hills. It was Jenny that actually brought that up, and I was like, yeah, I could do the hills. Oh my god. So that was tricky. I don't even know how to describe how I did them. I think what I did is I started by making dirt pillars, and then bringing out them like kind of like that. I don't know how to describe them in words, but that's what I did. Some of them were very pyramid shaped, like this tall one right here was, so I had to alter the sides. And now that the grass, the flowers, and all the trees are spread around, you really can't tell that it was hand done. It actually does look pretty close to being natural. And I was actually quite impressed with how it turned out. Most of the other landscape is just going to be flat land, I will say that though. Yeah, I think that's about it, all I have to say about Burg. But Burg, just like in the game, is only the beginning. That's right. I'm going to be making more from Lunar. My next project is probably going to be the next closest thing to Burg, the Weird Woods. My sister is very well looking forward to me working on it, and she keeps saying, I just want to help you with this, because she loves the game and she really wants to get hands-on with this too and on board, because she and I have like minds when it comes to Lunar. We know exactly what the game does look like, and even if we're unsure, then we always can look up maps and all that, but we can just always relate and always know what we want. We want the same thing. So getting her on board with this project would be good. I would have to persuade her to buy Minecraft on PC because she plays on Xbox, which is okay. And maybe we can find a way to share this. I think I haven't tried LAN yet, so I'm not too sure about that. So next project would be Weird Woods, and that video will be up whenever. I'm not too sure how long it's going to take, hopefully not that long. But Weird Woods is pretty much it's actually not the first dungeon in the game, it's the second dungeon in the game. But since it's the next closest area to Burg, I'm going to do that next. So yeah, I think that's just about it. This project just came to me out of the blue. I just felt like, you know what? There's so many worlds and things that I can just take from games and movies that I love and put them back into Minecraft, and I just felt like there's always those things that I was like, I can recreate that in Minecraft, which is what caused me to make the Halls of Origination exterior from World of Warcraft Cataclysm, which if you want to check that out, is over here on one of my other channels, which I'm thinking about bringing back to this channel and keeping everything onto one channel as it should have been. But yeah, more Minecraft stuff coming out. Awesome, because I love sharing my stuff on Minecraft. I am making the Guilds of Ravnica from Magic the Gathering in one of my other realms, but that's on survival, so it's taking a lot longer. And if you guys really want to see that, then maybe I'll do a video of that sometime, but for now the focus is on Lunar. And yeah, Lunar, it's kind of funny because Lunar inspired me to make the map of Lunar. And now that I'm making the map of Lunar, that's inspired me to want to go back and play Lunar again, even though I only played it not too long ago. So instead, I decided to play the PlayStation Portable version, Silver Star Harmony, I think it was? Yeah, I haven't got very far in it. But Silver Star Harmony is pretty much just the PlayStation Portable version of it. Updated graphics a little bit, something that you would expect on PlayStation Portable in a 2D game. But I would recommend playing that game, but you gotta play Silver Star Story on PlayStation 1 first. Play that one first, then Silver Star Harmony. And yeah, if you guys have any questions on any of the stuff that you've seen here, then let me know in comments down below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Some feedback on some of the things that you've done. Any Lunar experts out there that maybe have some opinion on how the maps go and what they think about this, because anybody who's played Lunar and knows the game and loves the game is very rare, because it is a very rare game and not too many people have played it. So, a new dawn on a Minecraft world for TheBobbKat, and the star is Alex Noah, who's going to sign us out right here. So, say goodbye, Alex. Yeah, slice the sword. I'm not going to make him go sword dance on me, but yeah. So, Alex has said his sign-out goodbye, so now it's time for me to say my sign-out goodbye. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. There's going to be more videos to come. And next up, Weird Woods. Thanks for watching.